Hey guys, what is up? It is Maisie with Barbecue by Maisie. If you are new here, thank you for stopping by. And if you are coming back, I sure do appreciate you. All right, I get asked all the time, what is the best way to smoke a pork butt? Honestly, I don't think there is one best way. The best way is whatever works easiest and best for you. So today I'm going to show you my favorite way to smoke a pork butt. I have smoked many a butt over my illustrious barbecue career. So I have little things that make the cook go easier for me. So I am going to show you all of those tips today. Here is the quick game plan. I am going to actually be starting the butt tomorrow morning. The Maisie tomorrow morning is going to really appreciate the Maisie tonight that is getting this butt prepared and ready for the smoker. Pork butts take a long time to cook, and I have found that it is not fun trying to rush it at the end of the cook so that you can feed your family that is just anxiously waiting by. Those eyes start to make you a little antsy. So what I do is I allow plenty of time, because extra rest time in the cooler is never a bad thing. So I am going to wake up super early tomorrow morning to actually get this pork butt on the smoker. I have a newborn. I'm going to be awake anyways. So I've got my butt in front of me. I'm sorry. You're going to have to endure a lot of butt jokes. So I'm going to dive in and show you how I like to prep my butt. Let's go ahead and dance into this next step. This pork butt that I'm using today is from Open Prairie Natural Meats. Really high quality pork. So I know everything is super expensive right now, but try and get the best quality meat that you can, because it really does affect the final product. So you should have a nice bird's eye view of my butt here. First thing I do is I trim fat. Leaving some fat is not a bad thing, but if it's super thick, you can trim it off. So right here, I can tell there's some thicker fat right here. If you'll want a sharp knife, taking just a little bit off, I am using a Pit Boss knife that can be found at Lowe's. I like that fat right there. This fat down here is where I'm going to start taking off some of it. You can kind of tell it just has a different look to it. It's harder fat. You can kind of feel it too. So this fat I'm just going to take off. Okay, so this is a Pit Boss foil tray. You can obviously get any kind of tray you want. I am now going to put my butt in the tray. The reason I'm going to season the pork butt in the tray is because I'm going to use this tray again later in the cook. The top of the pork butt, I'm going to score it like this. So the reason I'm making these deep cuts and going to score it is because it allows the flavor of everything that you're going to be adding to your butt, the seasoning, the spritzing. It just kind of opens up the meat and lets you get more surface area to season. We are ready to season the meat. So I start on the bottom. I'm using mustard as a binder for the seasoning. So just slather that around. Some people will freak out about the mustard. You're not going to taste the mustard at all. Even if you don't like mustard, I promise you, you will not be able to taste it. One of my favorite seasonings to use for pork butts is from Reload. It's called Double Action. That's what I'm going to be using on this cook. There are some other seasonings that I really enjoy. Reload makes really good seasonings. They're very flavorful, and they're also just a really good company run by really good people, so I like to support them. Now we're going to do the top. I season it with a lot because this is a big piece of meat and it can handle a lot of seasoning. See, the tray is catching all of our seasoning. Once this butt has been in the smoker for a while, it's going to go back in the tray, so having a little extra seasoning in there never hurt anybody. Kind of open up and get down in those cuts I made. Going to uncover the Brunswick. Well, I don't know, it kind of looks rainy. I'm not doing that. But make sure that your smoker has a lot of pellets and that it is ready to go. It's cleaned, because this is going to be a long cook, so you do not want to start the cook with a dirty smoker. You could put it on late at night before you go to bed and smoke it through the night. A couple reasons I don't like that. For one, I am a worrywart, and I'm always worried I'm going to burn my house down. And the other reason is because I don't want to wake up and have to like spritz it in the middle of the night either. And the spritzing is really important to building a bark. So I have found that just waking up super early and getting it started in the morning and letting it smoke all day just produces a better butt, in my own personal opinion. All right, so that is it for the prep. I'm going to get some foil over the butt and put it back in the fridge. So you guys better go get some sleep because we got a big day to. Woo! Smoking pork butts makes me so happy. All right, you guys, we're up. Gonna get this pork butt on. Hopefully you can see something. It's about 5 a.m. Got my Brunswick heating up. Just gonna put our butt right on the grate, so not in the foil pan right now. Let's get the doors closed, keep that heat in. And if you have a water pan, make sure that you've got water in it right now. I do. Okay, now that there is a little bit of light outside, let's go over the smoke temperature and everything like that. So the smoker is set at 250 degrees. I have pecan pellets in the hopper, and it's been on the smoker for about 3 hours now. So it's time to start spritzing. For the next little while, all we're going to be doing is spritzing about every 45 minutes to an hour. This is going to build up a really nice bark, so you don't want to skip out on this step. I like to spritz when the meat starts looking a little dry, a little thirsty. Today we're going to be giving our meat a nice drink of Dr. Pepper. I like to use anything that has some sugar in it. Dr. Pepper, Coke, apple juice, apple cider vinegar works well too. The reason we're smoking at 250 and not lower is because I have found over many a butt that anything lower than 250 honestly is unnecessary, and it just kind of makes the cook take longer than it really needs to be. If you're worried about not getting enough smoke at that temperature, you can always throw in a smoke tube with it. I'll link a smoke tube below that I like to use. All right, it's that time. Let's go look at my butt. Hi there, butt. How are you doing this morning? You're a nice looking butt, aren't you? You're a good butt. It's coming along nicely. It does look a little dry though, so we're going to spritz. I've just got a, what's this called? Water bottle? What is this called? Spray bottle. Spray bottle full of Dr. Pepper. We're just going to get it nice and wet. And that's it. We'll come back out and check on it in about 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, 1 hour check-in. Gonna give it another spritz. Okay, be back out again later. All right, it has been about 8 hours. We're gonna do a temperature check. Got a Thermopin 1 here. I will link it below. Around the 160s is the stall. And I am going to pull the butt off and put it in the foil tray and show you what we're gonna do next. Okay, so now we have our pork butt in our tray here. I'm gonna take Dr. Pepper, just the same one I was spritzing with. I'm gonna pour it all over the pork butt. Get some foil and cover it up. Okay, so now our pork butt is in the foil tray, bathing in that Dr. Pepper. It is going to be insanely delicious. Trust me on this one. Okay, so I bumped the temperature up on my smoker to 270. It's just going to speed the cook up a little bit, but you don't have to. You can ride it out at 250 the rest of the way. So the pork butt had smoked 8 hours before we put it in the foil tray. We got it to about 165, 170. Now we're gonna shoot for a temperature of 200 to 205. You know that I'm not as worried about the internal temperature at the end as I am about how tender it is when you probe it with a thermometer. So I am not going to even come check on this pork butt for another probably 2 to 3, 4 hours. That's when we'll start probing for tenderness and to check and see what that internal temperature is. Remember, the internal temperature is really just a guide to let you know where you're at in the cook. But I am just gonna head inside. It's time for a cold Diet Coke, and then we will be out in a couple hours to check on the status of our butt. Let's go. What is this? Some stairs? Weird. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and check on this pork. Ooh, that looks yummy. Over on this side is where the bone is, so I'm gonna take the temperature over here because it's gonna be a little hotter wherever the bone is. Not only am I taking the temperature, I am also just seeing how it probes. It's pretty dang tender. We're at about 200 right there. I'm gonna just check a couple more spots. When I say you're checking to see if it probes like butter, picture you have a jar of peanut butter and you're sticking that in, or a knife in, or your probe, and it just goes right in easy. There's no resistance. That's really how this is probing. So some spots are probing a little more tender than others. When they get over here kind of to the thicker meat by the bone, there's a little more resistance, and it's only about 198 in those spots. So I'm going to let it go for just a little bit longer until I like how it's probing throughout the whole butt. Okay, a couple options for letting your pork butt rest. So I am cutting it close to feeding family. It's Memorial Day, so we have some family coming over. So instead of going through the trouble of wrapping it up and sticking it in a cooler to rest, I left it in my foil tray covered. I took all the liquid out, poured it into a cup, and it is back in the smoker. I turned the smoker down to 200, and I'm just going to let it rest in there until it is time to pull. So it's going to get about a 45-minute rest. I wish it was an hour, but 45 minutes is pretty dang good. If you are lucky and have more time to let it rest, you could leave it in the tray, wrap the tray up in some towels, and put it in an empty cooler. You could also take the pork butt out of the foil tray and wrap it up in butcher paper, then wrap it in some towels and put it in a cooler. So make sure that you do leave some time for that final resting step. All right, you're gonna wanna get you some nice heat resistant gloves. We don't need any of those bear claws. Let's get the bone out. Oh man. Nice clean bone. That's what you really wanna see, folks. We're just gonna, oh man. Look at that, guys. Oh, this is just my favorite. Nothing to it, super tender. That is a fine butt. Okay, so we're just gonna get a little of our juice that we saved in this cup. I'm just gonna put that back over it, just a little bit, not a ton. I'm gonna take the rub that I used and I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of that in to the pulled pork. I'm gonna mix that in one more time. Let's make a sandwich. I am using brioche slider buns. Brioche buns are my favorite. I really like, there's something about just cute little slider buns that makes me happy. Get some pulled pork on there. This is mac salad, homemade. Gotta have the homemade mac salad. You gotta have a nice crunchy coleslaw. None of that weird slimy stuff. Put some of that on there. Good looking, good looking, good. This is a finishing sauce. Tons of different recipes online. It's vinegar based, but I just give that a spritz over there, just a little squirt. Okay. I'm so excited. Okay, now that we've got that sandwich assembled, you know that you can't leave until I take a bite. It smells good, it looks good. Okay, there's our sandwich. Oh my. Oh. You done good. You done real good. Woo! That's a good sandwich. I gotta run, I gotta get in and eat with my family. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. That is my favorite way to smoke a pork butt. It comes out perfect every single time. Remember to prep your pork butt early so that you are not trying to rush and get it ready to get it on the smoker. Give yourself ample time to smoke it and let it rest. You guys have a great rest of your day. And until next time, ta-ta for now. Leave it on the robot.